Courtrooms are not just halls of justice. They're theaters of human tragedy. Within their walls, emotions explode, secrets unravel, and destinies are sealed. Some defendants beg for forgiveness, some smile in defiance, and others stare blankly as their lives collapse around them. Each story that unfolds in these rooms reminds us that justice is not only about guilt or innocence, it's about the raw, messy, and haunting consequences of human choices. These are the moments when the law meets emotion, and when both sides of humanity are laid bare. Shondell Jackson, the smile that shattered silence. The Milwaukee County Courthouse was packed that day. Reporters, family members, and spectators filled every bench, the air thick with tension. At the center of it all was 18-year-old Shondell Jackson, standing trial for the murder of 21-year-old Nathan Potter, a student at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Potter's only mistake was leaving a bar late at night. Jackson and a friend, prosecutors said, were prowling the streets, hunting for victims. They spotted Potter, followed him, and confronted him in a dark corner. When they demanded money, Potter told them he didn't have any. In that instant, a senseless moment of rage, Jackson pulled the trigger. A single shot ended Potter's life and shattered countless others.
I saw it on the news. I even cried. I'm like, oh my God, I can't imagine what that mother is going through. I never had a clue that my child had anything to do with it. My son is not a monster. He is not a monster.
Jackson now apologizes for what he has done.
I apologize for my behaviors. Please don't take my life from me.
Jackson fled to Mississippi the next morning, believing he could escape the crime. But his own uncle tipped off the police, leading to his capture. The trial that followed was as disturbing as the murder itself. Throughout the proceedings, Jackson was defiant. He smirked at witnesses, gestured toward the victim's grieving family, and at one point even smiled while being led out of the courtroom. The image of that smirk burned itself into the minds of everyone present, a chilling contrast to the sobs of Potter's loved ones, sitting only a few feet away. Before sentencing, Jackson's mother took the stand, her voice shaking. "When I saw it on the news, I cried," she said. "I thought, oh my God, I can't imagine what that mother is going through. I never knew my child had anything to do with it. My son is not a monster." When Jackson finally spoke, his tone was subdued. "I apologize for my behavior," he said quietly. "Please don't take my life from me." But mercy was not in the cards. The judge's voice was firm and final. Life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Jackson exploded, shouting as deputies restrained him. The sound of his family screaming echoed through the room. In one corner, Nathan Potter's mother closed her eyes and cried silently. Justice had spoken. But in that courtroom, no one felt victorious. Jennifer Mee, from hiccups to handcuffs. Years before she stood in handcuffs, Jennifer Mee was America's hiccup girl. At 15, she made headlines for her mysterious, uncontrollable hiccups, a medical oddity that made her a talk show regular and briefly a household name. She laughed with reporters, appeared on morning TV, and even spoke about wanting a normal life again once the hiccups stopped. They eventually did, but her fame didn't last, and her fall from grace would make headlines once again for reasons far darker than anyone could have imagined. At 19, Mee was arrested in Florida for first-degree murder. Prosecutors said she had lured a 22-year-old man she met online to an abandoned home. Waiting inside were her boyfriend Lamont Newton and a friend, Laren Rafer. What was supposed to be a quick robbery spiraled out of control and ended with the man being shot dead. The group got away with just $50. Within hours, police tracked them down.
Recorded or monitored. I have a free call from
Jennifer Mee,
an inmate at Pinellas County Jail.
I got charged for murder in the first degree.
Charged for murder in the first degree?
Yes, sir.
What charges did who did you kill?
I didn't do nothing. I was just there at the wrong time, at the wrong place.
Hello?
Hi, Mama.
Hello, Jennifer. What's going on?
I'm in jail
Why are you in jail?
from murder in the first degree.
Who'd you kill?
I ain't killed nobody. Because I set everything up. It all went wrong, Mama.
The jury
The public could hardly believe it. The once sweet girl known for hiccups was now accused of cold-blooded murder. In jail, Mee made a phone call to her mother. The conversation, recorded and later played in court, became a key piece of evidence. "I got charged for first-degree murder," she said softly. Her mother gasped. "Why are you in jail for murder?" "Because I set everything up," Mee admitted. "It all went wrong." Her own words sealed her fate. In court, Mee stood quietly as the jury returned a guilty verdict. The judge's voice echoed through the room. "Jennifer Mee, you are adjudicated guilty of murder in the first degree and sentenced to life in prison without parole." No hiccups this time, just silence. Her two co-defendants also received life sentences. Mee's brief celebrity had ended not with applause, but with a gavel strike. Curious to find out all the answers? Stick with us until the end. There are some captivating insights and surprises waiting just for you. Don't miss out on the journey. Dylan Schumaker. The boy who cried for mercy. In Buffalo, New York, the courtroom doors opened to reveal a teenager who looked more like a frightened student than a killer. Dylan Schumaker, just 16, was about to face the consequences of an unthinkable act. On a quiet evening, Schumaker had been babysitting his girlfriend's 23-month-old son. When the toddler wouldn't stop crying, frustration turned into violence. Moments later, the child lay lifeless. When questioned by police, Schumaker wept and claimed it was an accident. But as the details emerged, the bruises, the fatal blows, the picture grew darker. At his sentencing, Schumaker entered the courtroom already crying, tears streaming down his face. "I didn't mean to kill him," he sobbed. "I really didn't. I would give my life for Austin." But the judge had heard something that changed everything. A phone call between Schumaker and his mother, recorded from jail, revealed the chilling truth behind those tears.
"In a phone call to your mother from the holding center, you stated," and I got a quote from the court reporter, "I am a 16-year-old blonde. Probably all I have to do is cry in front of the jury, and they're going to feel sorry for me.
I can't take back what was done. I wish I could. I would give my life for Austin."
Schumaker was later sentenced to the maximum punishment.
That you be sentenced to an indeterminate term of imprisonment, which will have a maximum of life. The court hereby imposes a minimum sentence of 25 years.
"I'm a 16-year-old blonde," Schumaker had bragged. "All I have to do is cry in front of the jury, and they'll feel sorry for me." The courtroom gasped. The remorse seemed rehearsed. The judge's response was swift. "You will serve an indeterminate sentence of 25 years to life." Later, it was reduced to 18 years. But the stain of that phone call lingered. As deputies led him away, the sobbing boy everyone had seen on the news was gone. What remained was the reminder that sometimes even tears can lie. Brandon Spencer, gunfire on Halloween night. Halloween on the USC campus in Los Angeles is usually a night of laughter and costumes. But one October night, it turned into chaos when gunfire erupted at a packed university party. Screams pierced the music. Students ran for their lives. 4 people were hit, but miraculously, all survived. 19-year-old Brandon Spencer was arrested days later. Police said the shooting was tied to a gang rivalry. Spencer was already known to authorities as a documented gang member. At trial, Spencer stood before the jury, young and nervous, his voice trembling. "I'm sorry for what happened," he said. "I'm not a bad person. I made a mistake." But prosecutors painted a different picture. A vengeful shooter who opened fire into a crowd to settle a feud. When the verdict came back, guilty on 4 counts of attempted murder.
"Bad person, but I made mistakes. But I'm not just some gangbanger that she tried to portray me as."
Spencer dropped his head. As the judge read his sentence, 40 years to life, he banged his forehead against the defense table in despair. Deputies had to restrain him as he screamed in anguish. In the gallery, family members cried out his name, their voices mixing with the sobs of victims' relatives. One young man's anger had turned a college party into a crime scene and his own future into a cage. Martice Fuller, the cold stare of a teenage killer. The case of Martice Fuller in Kenosha, Wisconsin, was one of betrayal, heartbreak, and chilling detachment. At 15, Fuller was just a teenager, but what he was accused of doing shocked the entire community. Prosecutors said that after breaking up with his girlfriend, Kaylee Juga, Fuller became enraged. One night, he broke into her home with a handgun. Kaylee was in her bedroom listening to music when the shots rang out.
He asked that I read on his behalf.
Okay.
Martice writes, I wanted to write this giving my sincerest apologies to this family I once shared time and love with. Truthfully, I am sorry about the pain you've all suffered through, but more importantly, the loss of my ex-girlfriend Kaylee that I loved too. But I have to continue to stand innocent because I am. And I hope you all can eventually see in your hearts that I am not the person the media has made me out to be.
Any ability to trust that you will never commit these acts again. So in the interest of protecting the public, acknowledging the seriousness of these acts, the court orders that on count 1, you are sentenced to life in prison without eligibility for extended supervision.
She died instantly. Her mother, hearing the commotion, rushed from her room and came face to face with the shooter. She was shot twice but survived. From her hospital bed, she identified Fuller as the killer. Throughout his trial, Fuller sat emotionless. He didn't flinch as evidence was presented or as Kaylee's family testified. But when the jury announced its decision, guilty on all counts, a flicker of something crossed his face. Maybe surprise, maybe nothing at all. Before sentencing, his lawyer read a handwritten statement from him. I wanted to write this, giving my sincerest apologies to the family I once shared time and love with. I am sorry for your pain, but I have to continue to stand innocent because I am. The judge, unmoved, spoke firmly. I cannot trust that you will never commit these acts again. You are sentenced to life in prison without parole. As the words fell, Fuller showed no emotion, no tears, no reaction, just an empty stare, as if life without freedom meant nothing at all. The final word, where justice and emotion collide, 5 names, 5 crimes, 5 lives forever changed, along with dozens of others who will never recover from the pain. Shondell Jackson's smirk, Jennifer Mee's recorded confession, Dylan Schumaker's false tears, Brandon Spencer's desperate cries, and Martice Fuller's cold silence. Each one a portrait of regret, arrogance, or denial. The courtroom is the stage where truth and emotion collide, where people are stripped bare and justice delivers its verdict without pity. And when the gavel falls, it doesn't just end a trial, it ends a chapter of human tragedy, one that echoes long after the doors close. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.